Hey, what's up YouTube? Boswell back with another video for the husband code. Today I want to talk about 10 things every man should know before getting married. Now I want to make sure I'm on point today, so I definitely got my notes with me to make sure I can, be as clear as day on the 10 things that I think that man should be aware of or should know before they get married. So we're gonna dive right into it. Number one, you gotta know that marriage is a team effort, right? Yes, men are the leaders in their marriage or should be, right? But also you got to know your wife is a helpmate, meaning she should be in position to make sure you're the best version of yourself. Obviously, you always got to be aspiring that, working on yourself, improving yourself, developing yourself to be the best man you can be. But you want to make sure that, hey, from your wife is that support role, and she's helping you become everything and more that you could be. Because what they say, behind every great good man is a great woman, right? So you got to make sure that when you're going into marriage, that this woman is going to be one who's really going to help push you to the next level, challenge you in a positive way. Making sure that as you looking forward, she's watching your back, right? So that's the most important thing is understanding it's a team effort. That when she needs you, you there for her, and that's how y'all gonna do it, is building this house together, metaphorically speaking. But also just remember that it takes work. It takes work, just like if you playing any sports, right? When it's a team, everybody trying to figure out their position, everyone's trying to figure out their role, and as the more and more you do those reps in practice, right? Because practice is controlled failure. The more and more you do those reps in practice every day and striving to get better, the more and more the team efforts start to glue and start to gel. So just making sure, like I said, that it's a team effort and you leading the way with that team effort. So the second thing, communication is key. And everybody who I've known, or even like I said, just my research that been divorced and anything like that, if it wasn't financial, it came down to communication, right? It came down to somebody cheating because they didn't maybe speak to that person about their needs not being met, or maybe they did and it wasn't. You know, something happened with the money and it wasn't communicated because they went on the same plan as far as financially. Something to do with the kids, like one person wanted one way and one person wanted another. It could be a situation where, hey, we ain't been communicating to build and connect intimately by going on dates and things like this. It always come back down to the communication. And like I said, even when it comes to financial, somebody somewhere didn't communicate with it, the situation, and that's what really kills a lot of relationships. And it's not having the ability to communicate. It could be a situation where two people are growing, just in a relationship. And you might have started off close together, but as you get older and you start to like different things, different life experiences, these are things where you have to always come back together to the table and just make sure you communicate to say, hey, are we straying too far apart or growing too far apart? How can we bring it back together? And that's just through communication. It's so important. And I think I talked about this in my early videos about just how important communication is. You'll be surprised when you get married. Things you would never think would come up. And you like, whoa, this came from left field. It's not even stuff you can write in the book. It just come up out of nowhere, and you can be like, okay, I see what he's saying. But regardless on all the trials and tribulations, communication will always be the key. Next one, um, your partner's happiness doesn't depend on you. You know, like I said, I think I spoke another video about Will Smith, and he had a couple, videos that he posted. I don't know if it was Instagram years ago, and but I definitely listened to it on YouTube when they put together those, kind of mashed up different motivational videos. But he always say, hey, you can't make a person happy. Only person you can make it happy is yourself. Meaning, if that person not happy with themselves, it don't matter what you do, you will never make them happy. They have to find internal happiness within themselves. Now, you can make them feel good, right? You can make them have them have a great time, but their happiness is their responsibility, and it's not on you. It's not incumbent of you to attempt to make that person happy. It just won't happen. You know what I mean? That's an internal thing. So just make sure when you get ready to, um, you know, tie the knot, that you're happy in yourself, and you have a half full cup viewpoint on life, and that person does too that you're with. So again, you can't make anybody happy in life. You can't make them feel good. You can't show them a great time, but just making sure both parties are happy with themselves before you get married. Next one, financial transparency. Now, once you become one and you become a joint, yes, you should see what both parties are making at that point. Right now, when you single, nah, like your money is your money. That's what it is. But when you come together as one, you gotta know what's going on through all parties, and that doesn't mean that um, all your money is my money, and vice versa. I think you have to budget, right? If the bills are paid, the investments are there, the savings is there, trips are planned out, and have a budget for it, right? There's a structure to it. There should be a budget for everybody to spend money as well, to have some leisure time on how they money. But truth of the matter is, yeah, when you single, your money's yours, theirs is there. But when you married, yeah, everybody money in the same pot, and that's just how it should be. But again, if you're a man, make sure it's structured a way where you have some play money and your wife has some play money. You got to have it that way. I just think I have, like, even in my marriage, we have separate bank accounts, right? But at the end of the day, there's a budget on, hey, this needs to be paid, that needs to be paid. We know where everything go. I don't have to be checking every time on what they making because I know what's going on. But that's from the jump to see what's up with the financial transparency. So just make sure there's a plan. Make sure we can, you sit down from the beginning. If somebody's income change, then reassess it, right? But from the jump, you got to see once that knot is tied. Hey, where are we at? If you're a good one, do it beforehand. Like, hey, I want to marry you, but how's your credit? How's your savings? How's your financial situation? Do you got a lot of debt that's unreasonable, right? So it's have all this, anything that's tied with money, like I said, credit cards and all that, student loans. Like, make sure all that stuff is discussed. Again, if you willing to work through it, just put a plan together and say, all right, this is how we can handle it together, and just keep it pushing. But it's got to be transparency on what the plan is. All right, next one. Understand that conflict is normal, but you have to handle it in a manner that's respectful, right? As you growing, there's gonna be disagreements. There are gonna be things you don't agree on. There are gonna be life issues that pop up. Their kids are gonna come into the mix. Job situation, career things are gonna come into the mix. Stress of life, family members. Like, it's gonna be a whole tornado of everything going on around y'all, right? Which can cause conflict. However, you still have to communicate and learn how to deal with it. You have to be a problem solver as a man, to make sure that that relationship can, progress forward, and just be on top of handling situations as they come. So again, even you'll see, even in your, now it should, let me say this real quick. Let me say this. So as you, even before you even get into the relationship, it shouldn't be arguing every day. Like, yes, there's a disagreements, but is it a respectful disagreement where the parties don't feel like they got to throw somebody under the bus or disrespect them in a negative way? We can have disagreements. That's part of it, and that's fine. That's growth, right? We're trying to solve a problem that we don't see eye to eye on, but it's got to be respectful. And again, I always push back on the man. Make sure you're leading the way on that, and showing up the right way to make sure that it's handled. So just know conflict's gonna come, no matter you like it or not. But just handle it like a man, right? Don't get emotional about it. You know, that's what a lot of females do, a lot of women do. But that ain't you. You the man. You gotta hold firm and make sure that you speak to purpose and not through emotion. So, all right, next one. And that's kind of piggybacking off that. Respect is earned through the relationship. But however, as you grow, you gotta respect each other's independence as well. We're gonna like different things in life. However, if it's a great relationship, you're gonna like each other's time anyway. But however, y'all need your own time too. You need to go hang with the boys sometimes. She need to go hang with her homegirl sometimes. Like, I'm not saying that it's a necessary thing. Just sometimes you want to get out and just let loose with the boys, man. Go catch a game, like just be in that manosphere. And same thing with the women. And sometimes you just wouldn't be with your girls, like, and then you won't give me a chance to miss you a little bit. You know what I mean? Give me a chance to miss you a little bit, and it's all good. You know what I mean? But respect each other's independent. Everybody should still have time for themselves. That's the whole point. And just making sure that there's an understanding before you get married. All right, next one. Um, Marriage involves a lifelong commitment through learning and growing together. Again, this is one of my early videos that I spoke about this particular bullet point on understanding that it is a lifelong commitment. Now, do things happen? People get divorced? Sure. You know, there's no secret about that. Divorce rates are very high, now, especially in the Western cultures of America. However, I think that um, both parties have to be willing to really commit. And from what I've learned through my own marriage is you have to continue to grow. I think that's what it is. And attempt to grow together, no matter what the circumstances is, financially, um, educationally, whatever the case may be. If both parties are committed to growing together, then I think that's a recipe for success. But when egos come into play about, oh, I made more money than you, so it's got to go like this, or, hey, I have more education than you, then it's got to go like that. That's when them egos get into play. It don't matter who has what. What matters is there a plan that we can stick to. Now, if the plan gets strayed from, then that's a different conversation. But if people bringing value to each other in love and respect, then I feel like it can work. You know what I mean? And so, somebody may be in a corporate office, somebody may be in a blue collar job, and they both make the same amount of money, but it's still got to be mutual respect. Just because, oh, you don't have this type of education, so maybe we won't communicate the same, right? But that doesn't mean that both parties don't bring value in some type of way, especially when it comes to love and respect. So just make sure that you guys committed, no matter what, where you come from culturally, from your background, whatever the case may be. It has to be a mutual respect and the understanding about, hey, what are we doing for the long term journey of this marriage through this commitment? So I think if that's really communicated well, again, I think that's a recipe for success. Last one, be prepared for the hard times and don't take each other for granted. What are we like over? We've been together 10 years now plus, and been married over 5. Me and my wife. It hasn't been easy, right? If somebody told you that their marriage was perfect and it was easy, there was no bumps in the road, they'll be lying. I would call cap all day long, right? And again, it's not a situation where um, it's hard because we are not willing to go the hard road when it comes to it. Again, I think is the hardest part is for me anyway is making sure that me as a man, I'm doing my part, right? Always, regardless of what's going on, as a man, make sure you do your part. You can't do everybody's part, but make sure you're holding yourself accountable to do your part and hold up your end of that commitment. And I think if you lead by example, then again, that's a recipe for success. Because I think when a man can lead himself, then his wife, his spouse, his significant other will follow, right? And I think that's real leadership in a marriage. But and again, I can go back through it about how being consistent matters, how showing up for yourself, how showing up for the other person matters, how keeping your word matters, how being disciplined financially, spiritually, emotionally matters, right? Staying healthy matters through eating, through physical activities, exercise, whatever matters, right? Your grooming, how you look at your personal brand when it comes to how you dress, how you speak, or you articulate, like all that matters as a man. So do your part to stay on point and don't fall off, right? I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not preaching to the choir. I've been there. And I see the other side on why it really matters to stay consistent with it. Things happen, right? We can lose a job that can impact us. We can have a death in the family. We can get injured. We can get sick. Things happen throughout the life. But again, be prepared for those hard times. But again, I think if you commit it and if y'all guys are willing to work through it, then you'll see it through. And anyway, so right, those are 10 things that I just went through about what men should know before they get married. And I think that's a great list. Is it a perfect list? No, but it's just something I put together real quick to go over with you guys, and I hope it helped. I hope it helped. Drop a comment below. Tell me, would you add something on it? What do you feel about the list? Did I miss something? Also, hit the notification bell. Hit a like on the video, and lastly, subscribe to the Husband Code. Again, I'm ready to drop more and more videos like this. And until next time, I appreciate y'all guys. Much love. Peace.